Could Vladimir Putin be the richest man on earth? President Trump is the richest US president in history, with a net worth of $3.1 billion. He's the star of a reality TV show. A lot of world leaders and presidents have this kind of money, but there's one who stands out due to his unusual past rivals, even Trump's KGB member. He is a black belt in judo and has been seen wrestling with bass. According to estimates, Vladimir Putin has a net worth of $200 billion, which would make him the richest man on earth. Estimates are important here, since no one really knows how much money Putin possesses. It is an enigma that much of Putin's wealth has been attributed to corruption, the use of government funds unlawfully, and an extensive network to offshore bank accounts. The following are rumors, facts, and estimates about Putin's wealth. Who is the richest person on the planet? Vladimir Putin, perhaps? Russian President Vladimir Putin has been seen in the news quite a bit lately, but it's not just because of his relationship with President Trump and his ties to Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. In fact, one article claimed that he's the richest man on earth, with an estimated net worth of more than $200 billion. But what makes him so rich? Is this all legit? And why should we care about his wealth if he's legitimately earned it? Vladimir Putin has served as Russia's prime minister and the president of the Russian Federation since 1999. At the same time, Russia's strength in the economy has caused a lot of the country's controversies because of their lack of free elections and press freedom, as well as the frequent jailing of political opponents. Putin was also accused of poisoning two people. I'll talk about that more later. After all, most of the world thinks that Russia is not a democracy. And the money that Putin may have accumulated through such corruption means is a huge factor in why many people think that he has billions of dollars. Putin's presidency has required to make an annual income declaration. In 2018, he reported his total annual income as $113,000, with $243,000 across a few bank accounts. He only owned an 800 square foot apartment, two Soviet-era cars, and an off-road truck. So if he made so little money in a year, how did he make his billions? Most people wonder about that. Even more than that, there is controversy over how much he has made. The US Department of Treasury believes that Putin has $200 billion. That's more than Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos put together. What makes things even crazier is that all reports seem to suggest $5 billion as his total net worth across all assets, which by itself would still be enough to make him richer than half of all Americans. Regardless, one thing is for sure, he likely has some hidden wealth we haven't uncovered yet. Maybe one day we will figure out where it came from. However, people believe he has much more than an 800 square foot apartment. He has been linked to 58 private airplanes, including a $60,000 gold toilet jet. To say he has a jet, but as a gold toilet jet that's equivalent to a quarter of your wealth is odd, wouldn't you say? After all, Putin overpaid for the $1.2 billion yacht and 15 lavish homes. Let's not forget about the new record he broke with the most expensive $1 billion mansion. The property is equipped with helicopter pads, a church, and an outdoor amphitheater. The person thinks that several of Putin's other properties in Russia and elsewhere might also belong to him. Some have bowling alleys, heated pools with gold tiles, and movie theaters. And by lit I mean, well, in the specific case of Putin's $1 billion home, nicknamed Putin's Palace. The point is that his extravagant spending is not hard to see. Whether it was legal or not, Putin made millions of other people's effort and at their expense. For example, he did so when building a $55 billion bridge between Russia and Crimea as a retaliation for Ukraine banning Russian airlines from landing in Kiev. Even more suspicious is that he profited so much after ordering a financial crisis in Russia, which raised unemployment by 8%. It's ironic how many people compare him to President Donald Trump, with all of these accusations coming up. I'll discuss what I mean later. So how exactly did all of his wealth come into existence? Some of Russia's biggest companies have revealed that Putin has stakes in them through his business partners, including a 4.5 stake in Gazprom, a prominent oil company with $112 billion in revenue. Another oil company, Gunvor, is also alleged to be owned by Putin. A childhood friend of Putin's was a co-owner, while another was a co-founder. Some people may not see the significance of this. Putin may have wealthy friends, and he may have been photographed in billion-dollar homes, but that does not necessarily mean he or the government approve of corruption. Putin's net worth is also tied to state contracts. In other words, he is receiving money directly from his government through business ventures. The German intelligence report states that these contracts aren't disclosed, and Russian laws allow them to be exempt from public release if they are in the interest of guaranteeing the security of the Russian Federation. Transparency International believes that the state contracts are responsible for at least 50% of Putin's wealth, which would make him a billionaire. However, not all sources agree with them. The official investigation concluded that the only credible explanation for the death of Alexander Litvinenko in 2006 was the poisoning of the Russian government. He had met with the Russian officials before he was poisoned. As he lay dying, Litvinenko called Putin a barbaric, ruthless man. That sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? In this case, it was real life, and it provides only a glimpse of what might be happening behind the scenes. Putin has close ties to offshore banks and a government that has poisoned civilians and silenced its media. Does that sound familiar? Although Putin isn't under American jurisdiction, his fortune is a subject of great debate. It's rumored that his hidden assets in countries like Switzerland and Israel to avoid taxes, which may explain why there isn't more evidence of his actual wealth. Additionally, Putin has repeatedly used shell companies for other investment around Europe and North America. One example is when a Kremlin-owned gas company sold its shares in an offshore subsidiary to Russian oligarch, who put them into a company registered in Cyprus under Putin's name. The deal was so small, it didn't even need board approval of Gazprom. Even if this was just investments for tax purposes, should we allow such secretive dealings from world leaders whose net worth remains uncertain? Furthermore, Putin has seen at large luxurious estates that do not belong to him. The photo of stunt driving days at his multi-million-dollar yacht to just being seen in wearing luxury watches over $140,000. That includes the iconic $700,000 Patek Philippe perpetual calendar watch. This one dresses impeccably in many areas of his life, so it's no surprise that he always has a fancy watch on. He's seen in suits up to $6,000, silk and cashmere suits to designer clothing at a workout gym. If you pile all of those things together, you may be able to make your own assessment of how wealthy the president of Russia is. I personally can't afford to have a fleet of private jets, million-dollar watches, and a million-dollar home. Let me know what you think. Do you think Putin is the richest man on earth? What do you think? Is Putin really worth billions of dollars? Or do you think the figures are just exaggerated? What do you think about the rumors? Are they true? Or are they just fake news? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment.